What is up, everyone? Welcome back to an Serious channel. I'm your host, OJ Feliciano. With me, as always, is Luis Serrano. Say hi, my man.
What up, boy?
All right, so today we have a new episode of Aftershow. If you don't know what Aftershow is, it is the show right after the show we're watching, and we talk about it. Essentially, what's trending right now? Loki. We saw Loki. So this episode is going to come out a day late because we live in Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, well, we have all of these electricity problems. So every time we try to record a Loki episode, we lose electricity and we can't record. Anyways, we're here now. Let's talk about Loki, second episode, called, if I'm not mistaken, The Variant, right?
Yes.
Pretty sure it's called The Variant. So that was a good episode. I gotta be honest. Look, I got a bunch of theories. I got a lot of things to talk about. But look, eventually, if you haven't seen the episode, don't watch this. You could just go watch it and then come watch this. That's why it's called the After Show. We're gonna talk spoilers because that's the best way to talk about about shows nowadays. So, Louis, give us a little bit of a summary of this episode. Like, what caught your eye?
This episode gave me a lot of oddly Doctor Who vibes.
Yo.
Loki really radiates the mad scientist mentality.
Rachel told me the exact same thing. The exact same thing. I haven't watched Doctor Who further. I mean, I started watching Doctor Who. I haven't finished it. It's a long series, but yes, it did kind of give off that vibe.
They test out a theory with apocalypse scenarios, which I thought was super interesting, and it ends up working. So they're hunting the variant. They are hiding in apocalypse scenarios, and they come across one in 2050. And in the very end, Loki finally comes across the variant. Which, by the way, in this entire episode, Loki is annoying, but I love it.
Annoying,
he's like a hyperactive child who, with his ego, he's just like, yo, listen to me because I'm right type of stuff. Yeah. Which he is right in the end. And he comes across his variant, and it's obviously none other than Lady Loki. And that was super interesting. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot to not realize that from episode 1. But yeah. It's Lady Loki. I was like, oh shit, no surprise. Really well done. And he kind of betrays the timekeepers in the end, which maybe again, not.
It was predictable. So I'm not okay. So that's pretty well said, and I'm glad you bring all of those topics. Because here's the thing: his plan was always to overthrow the TVA, because, as we know, Loki has this obsession with power. The most powerful thing in the universe, he wants to take control of it, right? So he finds out that the TVA is the most powerful thing in the universe, like so much so that the Infinity Stones are used as paperweights. The things that he used before are now being used as paperweights. So the TVA has this much power. He wants to control that. He wants to overthrow the TVA, and it makes sense. It's Loki. He's always had this type of secret agenda. So I like how they kept that here. I love how he's a smart person, but he's not really that smart. You can tell that pretty much everything that he's done in the MCU, prior to him being stuck in the TVA, and of course prior to him dying, has been by chance, by pure luck, by being smart enough to be in the right place at the right time. But when he comes across this variant, which is himself, but a much smarter, much powerful version, being Lady Loki, he has this sort of mental this challenge with himself, I have to be better than this person. There's no way this person can be better than me.
He wants to be the superior Loki, knowing that there was multiple. He's just
I need to be exactly. There's some interesting things that we learned about Loki's powers and how they work. It's interesting, but I want to jump into the Lady Loki for a second here. she is classified like in the credit scene. She's not called Lady Loki. She's given another name, which I forgot what it was, but it is the name given to Enchantress.
Yeah, Sylvia.
Sylvia. There you go. So the actress's name is called Sylvia, and we all know from the comics Sylvia is Enchantress, and not at all not Lady Loki, but she is presented as a Loki variant, and then henceforth called Lady Loki. Maybe what I'm thinking they're gonna do is that she is a Loki variant, Lady Loki, but she doesn't want to be called that anymore, and then she dons the name Enchantress. Maybe that's what they're gonna do with it. I don't know, but that was very interesting. The other thing I want to talk about is about the Mobius and the TVA judge. I forgot her name. I know it starts with an A. Agona.
You say so, man. I don't fucking remember.
Give me a second. I got this right now. Let me just do a quick Google search here. There you go. Okay, I was wrong. Ravonna. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ravonna has this, and Mobius have this interesting conversation about her having another person working for her out there searching and doing crimes and whatnot. I'm thinking that person is Kang the Conqueror, because Ravonna in the comics is known to have a relationship with Kang the Conqueror, and we know Kang the Conqueror will be appearing in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And this leads me to believe that the whole TVA and all this like propaganda is all bullshit. I don't think the timekeepers are an actual thing, or they're not going to be this big deal. We've seen the MCU kind of like take big things and dumb them down. So I feel like that's going to happen with the timekeepers in the TVA sort of scenario. Like the TVA is an actual thing, but I feel like the timekeepers per se are going to be like this propaganda thing used to control the agents, such as Mobius and Mobius, give them this purpose of like existence, when in reality they're just there to do a job that not anyone can do. But then, so that's like my theory for Ravonna right now, and that mysterious time agent, whatever, TVA agent. So I feel like it's going to be Kang the Conqueror. I don't know. I feel that because of the comics, it could be a different thing. But I'm gonna stick to it. The whole timekeeper bullshit, that's probably a hoax. That's probably just pure propaganda.
This episode also does a lot of good stuff with I want to say foreshadowing. I had another word in my head, but it just disappeared. Where in the very beginning, Mobius and Loki have this talk of like the afterlife and what's to come.
Yes.
And it was super interesting. And like at first I was just like, what is this like therapy session? What does this have to do with anything?
Bro,
but that
I'm
leads
telling
on
you,
to
Marvel's giving us PhDs and we don't even know it, bro. We talked about the 7 stages of grief with WandaVision. We talked about racism and political injustice with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And now we're gonna start talking about philosophical and the meaning of existence in life itself.
Fun fact, something I learned that I totally forgot, because before Loki even started filming, this was big news. They got the writers of Rick and Morty to write the episodes for Loki because it was going to touch on topics of multiverse and all that stuff. And Marvel straight up was like, you guys know how to explain this best.
Yeah, here
better
we go.
Than us,
Do
so.
it. And they did. It's true. I forgot that too. You're totally right. Wow. Totally forgot. But getting back into the whole like TVA, well not TVA, the timekeepers being a hoax and sort of used as propaganda leads me to believe that Lady Loki knows this, and she's trying to create the multiverse again. She's trying to create. So I know how we've suspected Wanda being the one who breaks. I don't think
that series gone.
I feel like she has the power. Yes, don't get me wrong. I feel like she will be one of these nexus, one of these branches that's coming out. But I feel like Lady Loki's mission is to essentially create multiple timelines, create a type of Secret Wars event, which could lead to and kind of ties into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and who knows what's going to happen with the Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw this tweet and someone said it like in a way that I was like, holy shit, yeah, I didn't think of that. How canonically now, Toby and Andrew's Spider-Man are considered variants.
Exactly.
They are variants of Tom Holland's Spidey.
It could be very well, yes. So I feel like this series is going to establish wholeheartedly, okay, so this is how the multiverse is going to be created. It used to be, the multiverse used to exist. The Timekeepers, or in this case, Kong the Conqueror, maybe, decided to have one linear timeline, which is fucking everybody up. Lady Loki comes from one of those timelines, and she's just trying to restore all of these. So we get to see a villain trying to do the good thing, but they're being seen as a villain. We've seen Marvel do this a lot as well, where we have a villain who is portrayed as one, but is really just trying to do the right thing from his point of view. And this is actually not like a Thanos sort of event. This is actually her like, oh, I lost my timeline, so I need to bring it back, perhaps.
Yeah.
But honestly, dude, it's such a good show, dude. It is such a good show. I was like worried, and now I'm like super pumped. I can't wait for them to give us more. This is pretty much what we do. We just speculate and we talk about theories and whatnot. I don't know if there's anything else we can say. Oh, there's one thing I did notice. Like, as of right now, the show, like, the running time for like present time is 2023. That's where we left off with talking to Winter Soldier. But we went to the future, technically. We went to 2050 in this episode of Loki.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've been dealing in the past or if they have the ability to go to the future. It's very confusing. I'm assuming this lets us know that the TVA was created in the future, but the propaganda says that they've been working from the beginning of time. I don't know. It's very confusing.
I think the TVA kind of works in a purgatory kind of sense. I mean, it doesn't really explain it, but I mean, considering
they don't work in an actual time. They
exactly.
exist in somewhere in a place where there is no time. So I guess maybe that's how they can like see what's going to happen in the future. It's just very confusing. I hope they explain that, but I think the point is there is not an explanation. There isn't an actual explanation for it.
Yeah.
With that said, I think we've pretty much covered the majority of things. I don't know if you have any other theories that you want to throw in there, but those are like the main ones I kind of wanted to throw in. Like Kong the Conqueror probably dating Ravonna, and they're planning this whole like hoax thing. Lady Loki comes from a different timeline, and she's trying to create the multiverse again, which is where she comes from. And the whole like Enchantress thing, maybe she wants to be called that. I don't know.
I just can't wait to see more variants of Loki, because the ones they showed in that little hologram, I was just like, this is kind of boring. Can you be a little bit more creative?
Yeah.
And I want to see like, younger Loki, elder Loki.
Yeah,
even Loki is an animal.
Yeah, I would like to see Loki. Okay, I would like for them to use Loki as a little bit more comic accurate in terms of strength. That's something I want to watch, because they make him like, yes, he's mischievous and he has magic, but he's also a god. He's also really strong, and I hate that they haven't shown that in the MCU at all. Like, we've seen him tore down a building with a punch in the comics. I'm pretty sure he can take a couple of hits. But
I mean, considering how he took a smash in Avengers 2012 from the Hulk,
he took it like a champ, right? But then he's getting kicked. He's getting his ass kicked by this man in a superstore. Come on.
Oh, to get back to your Enchantress theory, you could honestly be very right, because there is a moment where like he's fighting her.
Yeah, and he calls her he calls her Loki, and she says, "Don't call me that." She doesn't want to be called Loki.
No, not just that. He's getting his ass kicked, and he says something like, "I would never fight like this" or something. He literally like says it to himself. He's like, "Yo, I would never do this to myself," and like he starts realizing that like, "Yo, like
maybe this isn't me."
But you're not behaving like me. You're not really being Loki-ish.
Nice. I didn't catch on that. You're right. Maybe she's falsely classified as a Lady Loki because that's what the TVA thinks it is. But maybe this is Enchantress, and she's just being classified. You can call it. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait until next Wednesday to find out.
Oh,
More.
yeah, we'll have to wait.
That's gonna be a fun episode. I cannot wait. It's gonna be super fun. So that's pretty much what we do here in Aftershow. We just speculate. We work on theories. We don't really like give you a lot of detail. We don't run throughout the whole episode. We just kind of say the things that we pretty much theorize on how the show's gonna go. We almost never get it right, but that's the fun part because when we do get something right, we get hyped. There's a couple of things we've gotten right, and it's pretty fun. So if you like this, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more of us, subscribe, hit that notification so you know when we release new videos. And if you like this, and stick around, see what comes next. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Farewell.